All right, look, I'm very happy that the Eagles won yesterday, and I ain't going to let my feelings right now kill the buzz of that win yesterday. That was still a huge win, and Jalen Hurts looked so legit. And that's the thing. I made that video about how happy I was yesterday, and that was before I saw Doug Peterson's press conference discussing the game. In this press conference, I know a lot of people are picking on him not saying that Jalen is the starter next week. But I mean, let's be real. He doesn't have to say that for that to be a fact. Jalen's going to be starting. If Jalen doesn't start and Wentz goes back to starting, then there is going to be such a cataclysmic groundswell from not only the city, but the team itself that Doug will have to go back on his word. But that aside, I'm more looking at things in retrospect now, in hindsight, and of course, hindsight is always 2020. But I'm asking myself, why did Jalen get thrown into this game? Uh, was all hope lost in the season? No, they're still in a crummy division. It's still very feasible that the teams above them keep losing and that they win two or three more games here in the final 4 weeks and win the division. So all hope wasn't lost in the season. Was all hope lost with Carson Wentz? Was it lost more than going into the Seattle game 2 weeks prior? Like, okay, he finally ended up getting benched in the Green Bay game last week. But I'm saying to myself, hope was lost for Carson. Like, Carson Wentz didn't necessarily look any better or worse the past several weeks. So, if you're willing to do a quarterback change when all hope isn't lost in the season, and you're willing to do a quarterback change when your starting quarterback, your season starting quarterback in Carson Wentz, really hasn't looked that much better or worse the past several weeks, why would you throw your rookie quarterback into a game against the number one defense in the league unless at least a part of you wanted him to get clowned in that game, wanted him to look like, see, he is an NFL ready. He got his clock cleaned by New Orleans. But that didn't happen. And seeing Doug and the way he was acting in the press conference, just the lack of excitement, the lack of like relief, the lack of like, this team really looks like they turned a corner, man. They really look like that they're wanting to win, that they look like winners. But there was like none of that. It was just a lot of that heavy, like there was a heavy breathing moment where Doug got asked, I forget what the basic question was. This was Doug's literal reaction to the question. It wasn't just like do you fear like your job being lost at the end of the season? Like it wasn't anything like that. It was just like a simple like I think they were asking him something about like the doing a lot more running than passing in this game. And Doug just went like not exaggerated there. Like that was his literal response before giving his actual response to the question. And I'm like, you're this flustered about anything coming out of this huge win? And that's the thing. For people who don't watch Doug Peterson press conferences on the reg, he does not act that down. I mean, he's not just like, a big clapping hands and screaming and throwing confetti in the air or anything like that. But it just didn't seem like the Doug Peterson of old when the Eagles would win a very impressive game, and that the position you struggled at the most with this year, arguably at quarterback, the most important position, and there's no relief from Doug. Like that press conference, he was so down. He was just so down, or he was just generically happy or generically pleased with how things went. And again, I know I wasn't expecting him to come out and like with sparklers in both hands and doing cartwheels into the press conference. But man, he just seemed like something in this game really let him down. And maybe I'm reading into it too much. Maybe I'm wrong. But the bottom line is I feel that he wanted Jalen to fail in this game. I don't know what it is. I mean, I do know what it is if that is the case, and that is he wants Carson to be the guy. Like, I guarantee you, Doug Peterson did not want to get a quarterback in the second round of the draft, and I think in his heart of hearts, he resents Howie Roseman for doing that. Because he had to say, like, man, we need help on the offensive line. We need help in the secondary. Why are we getting a quarterback? We already have a 30-plus million per year quarterback signed for the next 3 seasons. Excuse me, next 4 seasons going into this season. Why would you waste a second-round pick on a position that we've already got locked up? And I just think Doug Peterson was against Jalen Hurts being drafted, is against him now competing for a spot on the roster at quarterback. And I don't know, I just feel that Doug Peterson is let down even more. And the thing that bugs me, if that is the case, if any of that is true, he's got to go even more than ever. Because now you've got to be that inspiring voice, the quote-unquote football whisperer, the head of the football factory, as Philadelphia wants to be known as. And it was not Jeffrey Lurie, excuse me, as Howie Roseman would say. If you want to head all that, Doug, then man, you got to be beyond grateful and pleased when your quarterback has a phenomenal game. Again, did Jalen Hurts throw for 300 yards? No, he threw for $170 something, but made up for not having to throw 300 by running 106 yards on the ground. So I'm okay with a quarterback only getting around 200 yards a game. If he makes it up with his feet and does as much damage on the ground with his feet than he does with the air, I mean, as long as it's not 50 yards pass and 50 yards rushing, you get what I'm saying. You get around 300 yards no matter how you do it, and you get a W against the best defense in the league. Like, I just don't understand how Doug wasn't wowed and over-impressed. Again, it's been over, think of this, people. It's been over 3 full seasons, including the playoffs, for the New Orleans Saints since they last allowed one running back or quarterback getting 100 yards in a game. It has been over 3 seasons since that has happened. Yesterday, the Eagles had their running back Miles Sanders and their quarterback Jalen Hurts both get over 100 yards. Like, that is mind-blowing that happened. And you're calling the plays on offense. And speaking of calling the plays on offense, people want to say now, and the few excuses out there for the Wentz loyalists are that, oh, look at the game plan Doug called. If Wentz had a game plan called like that, he would have won too. Miles Sanders got 18 touches. Peterson has given him more than 18 touches a game before, and the Eagles have fallen flat on their face. The difference is that people are saying, like, well, look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts had, 20-some rushing attempts, or around 20. But here's the thing. How many of those were designed runs? How many of those were called runs? Or him not seeing coverage break away from all the receivers, and him having to go out on his own and run on his own? And I think that's what Doug Peterson saw. Doug Peterson saw, like, man, this guy is doing it on his own and isn't necessarily doing what I wanted him to do, and he's being more than successful with it. I truly think Doug Peterson resents Jalen Hurts being drafted and resents the fact that this kid is over excelling Doug Peterson's game plan. And I think he doesn't like it. I don't know. I just, as someone who's seen all but maybe a time or two that Doug Peterson gave a press conference after a game, and seeing him give reactions when it was a very good win, especially an upset win, and just noticing that his demeanor, his mannerism, his speech was different than what you saw yesterday. Again, he isn't going to be doing the backflips and stuff like that. I get that. He's going to have the same relatively monotone demeanor, but he just did not look like a guy that really truly appreciated what Jalen Hurts did yesterday. And he really looked like the guy that is still trying to protect Carson Wentz. Again, not naming Jalen Hurts as your starting quarterback next week. It's like, well, come on, man. Forget about ruining Carson Wentz as a quarterback. It's time to coddle Jalen Hurts. Okay? And again, you don't have to coddle him. You just have to let him know he is accepted as the thing here at quarterback right now. And he's going to be that till he unearns it, because he has earned it. He has put his stamp of approval down and beat the number one defense in the league. And people want to say, well, come on, give a bit more shine to Miles Sanders. But like, even on that Miles Sanders, go back and watch that big 82-yard touchdown run that Miles Sanders had before the half, and look that the linebackers had to shadow what Jalen Hurts was doing and stopped because he had a little bit of a play fake run, because they had to respect Jalen Hurts running the opposite way with the ball, or even around the same way up through the center of the lineman. And that gave just a fraction of an extra ounce of time for Sanders to get around the corner a little bit more. And I think that was all the difference in the world, that he didn't get caught before he got to the end zone. So again, Jalen Hurts is such a game-changing piece to everything on this Eagles locker room right now. The defense looked like they were playing the most inspired football of the season. And honestly, if it wasn't for time running out in the half and Jake missing a field goal from 10 feet out, you would have had another successful scoring drive for Jalen Hurts and probably a touchdown if there was more time. But still, Jake, go get a job at State Farm. Anyway, Jake Elliott, by the way, why is he not fired yet? Anyway, I don't know, man. I just got a bad vibe. I got a bad vibe coming out of that Doug Peterson press conference, and I've never felt that it was possible that I could think he has to go more than before, but now he does. I'm sorry. Bring in a coach that will at least accept fully that Jalen Hurts is the quarterback and treat him like that. This kid has done absolutely nothing wrong to warrant criticism, or at least not earn the words of the coach saying he is our guy going forward. Doug Peterson, man, I'm beginning to wonder if he is the detriment to the team, beyond the bad play of guys like Carson Wentz and injuries and all that. They all get it. I get it. It collectively comes together. But man, Doug Peterson, I have never wanted him to go from this team more than ever. And I truly feel that the difference in the game yesterday was the good instinctual plays that Jalen Hurts made, and the runs that he had to make on his own that I guarantee you weren't designed run plays for the quarterback. Let's be real. Oh, on a side note, hi to the Dallas Cowboys, still in dead last all by yourselves. That is all.